Hey, happy Thursday. Namaste. Translation of Namaste is I bow to you. My further translation of the greeting is that place of purity in my heart, where my divine nature is fully realized, acknowledges that same place in your heart and bows to it. So again, Namaste. Happy Thursday. It's December 1st. Let's find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. If you're sitting in a chair, maybe you'll shift your weight a little further forward towards the front edge of the seat with your feet flat on the mat or flat on the floor. And just bring your hands to rest on your knees. Maybe your preference is to lean back and with the feet again still flat on the mat, allow your torso to be supported by the back of your seat, whatever works best for you. Close your eyes and start to breathe in and out through the nose. Now, while I'm breathing in and out through the nose, I'm going to ask you to, as best you can, move away from the distractions of life in the big city and settle into this amazing moment. I prefer to have my feet in contact with Mother Earth. So if it's for you, if you have your shoes on, maybe you take them off. If you have socks on, okay. If you want to take your socks off, I'm cool with all of that. But yeah, feeling that connection into Mother Earth, feeling more grounded into the physical world, settle more weight into whatever's anchoring you. So feet, sitting bone. See if you can get the spine to get a little bit longer so you're sitting up as tall as you can without stressing the physical form. Just get a sense of energy moving out through the crown of head, celebrating your connection into the spiritual world. We're coming back to the breath. And just notice how the chest rises and falls as you inhale and exhale. Notice how the tummy expands and contracts as you inhale and exhale. And ideally, we're endeavoring, or I'll encourage you to find ease in this action, in these actions. And if the breath is choppy, that's information. Maybe you're finding, or there are some pockets of tension that need to be addressed. So I would encourage you to inhale into those pockets of tension. And as you exhale, maybe the tension can leave the body so your physical form finds a greater state of ease. And as we begin to minimize the sensations of the physical form, we are able to check in with self in greater detail. So we'll do a scan for tension starting at the crown of the head. Release any tension in your forehead. Maybe you can relax the muscles behind your eyes. Check the nose and your cheeks for tension, your lips, your tongue, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. And as you bring more ease into the shoulder girdle, maybe you feel the arms sort of dangling a little bit more. Maybe there's a little more weight in the palms resting on your knees or your thighs as a result of bringing more ease into the shoulder girdle. Check the chest for tension, the abdomen for tension. Maybe you can find a little more ease in your hip creases. And the legs might feel a little bit heavier. And you might feel, again, more weight now settling into your feet. Maybe you can spread your toes out a little bit wider. And as I mentioned earlier, right before we started the session, that this time of the year can be, for many people, is angst provoking. We're winding down. There are oftentimes a lot more responsibilities, socially speaking, gathering with families, work gatherings, traveling. But I'll encourage you to try not to get caught up in the swirlings of this time of the year and stay grounded in self. And if you start to feel a little anxious, if you feel that you are getting caught up in the swirlings of life, maybe you can find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take in 3 deep breaths. We'll do that now. Wherever you are in the cycle of breath, exhale. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, open up your mouth, let it go on the side. Take in another deep breath. Inhale. Open up your mouth, let it go. One more deep breath in. And again, exhale, let it go. Turn to your normal breathing pattern. And feel free to keep your eyes closed. I'm going to ask you to bring your hands to heart center. Bring your thumbs to press into the middle of your chest. And just take a moment to set an intention for your practice today. You may choose to dedicate your efforts to someone in particular, to a group of people. Maybe you'll just send a little bit of extra love out into the universe. And if you're so inclined, we're going to inhale together for a deep breath, and you'll release it on the sound of Om. Inhale. Om. Let's bring your palms to rest on your knees again, and let the chin settle towards your chest. From here, let your right ear roll over towards your right shoulder. Turn back to your chest and let the left ear roll over towards your left shoulder. Turn back to your chest. Bring your cervical spine back to neutral. Lift the shoulders up by the ears and roll the shoulder blades down the back. So shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. They move down the back. Tips of the shoulders move forward. And we'll do, let's say, 3 more big old shoulder rolls to the back. Allowing the hands to slide along your thighs. Take your time. I'm suggesting a tempo, but maybe you're moving faster. Maybe you're moving slower. It's all good. The next time your shoulders come up by your ears, you'll reverse that pattern. Move the tips of the shoulders forward, down, back, and up. The next time the shoulders come up by the ears, stay there, and as you exhale, soften the shoulder blades down and back. And let the fingertips drip towards your floor. Going to reach the arms out and wide. Bring the palms to face each other. Arms as close to the sides of your face as possible. And just lift the shoulders up by the ears. And then hug the shoulder blades towards your hips. Lift the shoulders up by the ears. Hug the shoulder blades towards the hips. Lift the shoulders up by the ears. Hug the shoulder blades towards your hips. Lift the shoulders up by the ears. Hug the shoulder blades towards your hips. And you're just going to start to circle out the wrists, articulating through your fingers a la flamenco dances. Sitting up tall. If you're sitting back, I would suggest now that you shift the weight a little further forward. And then we'll circle the wrists in the other direction. So tempo you get to set, just trying to get the wrists to open up a little bit more, trying to get the muscles in the forearms to become a little more pliable. Sending your energy through all of the energy channels in your fingers, those nadis. And now from here, you're going to bring your hands back to your thighs. Your chin will settle towards your chest. We're going to let the right ear roll over towards your right shoulder. Chin to your chest, let the left ear roll over towards your left shoulder. Chin to your chest, we're going to do big old neck rolls. So right ear to the right shoulder, nose up to the ceiling, left ear to the left shoulder, chin to your chest. So we just took out 3 of these, maybe 4, depending on how fast or slow you're moving through this. The next time your chin settles towards your chest, I'm just going to say, keep it moving right ear to the right shoulder and stay. Bring your right hand to rest on the left side of your face. And with the weight of that right hand on the left side of the face over the course of the next few breathings, maybe the right ear can get a little bit closer to the right shoulder. That left arm, just let it drip alongside body. And envision someone gently tugging on those left fingers, trying to get them to touch your floor, while pulling that right ear towards the right shoulder. So we're creating more distance between your left ear and your left shoulder. From here, I'm going to ask you to rotate your nose towards your right armpit, and you can adjust your hand so it moves to the left rear quadrant of your head, rotating the nose more towards your right armpit. Maybe you can get the chin to press into your right pec tissue. Rebuild it, bring your right ear back towards your right shoulder. Take your right hand over to the right side of your face and use your hand to bring your neck to neutral. So both arms high, palms are pressed together overhead, look up. Bring your hands to your thighs, let your chin settle towards your chest, and just let one vertebra fall away from the next, melting your torso towards your thighs. For some of you, let the fingertips start to crawl down your shins, and maybe your fingertips come in contact with your toes or with the floor. And while melting forward, taking a ginormous breath, breathe all the way down to the very tip of your tailbone. And as you exhale, soften a little bit deeper into this forward folding action. Press your big toes down into your floor, sitting bones into your seat, and slowly roll your way up to sit nice and tall. Take your time, just stacking one vertebra on top of the next. When you make your way up to sit nice and tall, we're just going to lift the shoulders up by the ears one time. And exhale, let the shoulder blades soften down the back. Let your chin settle towards your chest. The left ear rolls over towards your left shoulder. Chin back towards your chest, right ear over towards the right shoulder. Chin back to your chest, left ear over to the left shoulder. Let's keep it moving. Nose up to the ceiling, right ear towards the right shoulder, chin to your chest. And we'll do maybe 3 more big old circles, neck rolls to the left. Maybe it's 4. Depending on how fast or slow you're moving, I'll just suggest that the next time your chin settles towards your chest, we're finished with this, you'll let the left ear roll over towards your left shoulder. You'll bring your left hand to rest on the right side of your face, and by applying pressure or weight to the right side of your face, the left ear might get a little bit closer to your left shoulder. The right arm, just let it get nice and heavy. Fingertips are endeavoring to touch the floor. So we're creating more distance between the right ear and the right shoulder. You want to feel that right shoulder blade hugging towards your right hip as you gently pull left ear closer to the left shoulder. From here, you're going to rotate your nose towards your left armpit, and you can adjust your hand to the right rear quadrant of your head, and still using the weight of your hand and maybe the muscles a little bit to get that chin to maybe press into the left pec tissue some more. Maybe you can rotate the nose more towards the left armpit. Keep hugging that right shoulder blade down the back if it's for you. Let's rebuild it. Bring that left ear back towards the left shoulder. Take your left hand over to the left side of your face. Use your hand to bring your neck to neutral. Float both arms high, palms pressed together overhead. Look up. And again, bring your hands to your thighs, chin into your chest, and slowly roll down. Again, maybe your hands stay on your knees or your thighs. For some of you, I like to think of my armpits trying to come in contact with my knees or my kneecaps as I melt forward. Relax your neck and shoulders. Taking a deep breath, inhale. Again, breathing all the way down to your tailbone. And as you exhale, maybe you can soften a little bit deeper into this forward folding action. And take your time, chin into your chest, and slowly start to roll your way up to sit nice and tall, stacking one vertebra on top of the next. You make your way up to sit nice and tall. Keep your left hand on your left thigh. You're going to take your right hand to the right arm, if you have an arm on your chair and that's appropriate for you, or take it behind you to the seat back, or you can bring your hand to the cushion, the seat of the chair right behind you. Try to keep your knees pointing straight ahead. And we're going to take an open twist here. So keep the weight grounded into both sitting bones. You'll eventually look over your right shoulder. Some options here. You can keep your left hand where it is. You might take your right hand to your left hand to your right knee or thigh, or maybe even take the back of the hand to the outside of your right thigh and use that for some leverage. Maybe you can go more into your rotation. Keep the big toes pressing firmly into the floor. We're going to keep the trunk in rotation. Just look over your left shoulder. And then look over your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. And look over your right shoulder. One more time, look over your left shoulder. And again, look over your right shoulder. Let's to center, float the arms high, bring your palms to press together overhead. Look up. Exhale, bring your hands back to your thighs. From here, I'm going to ask you to squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, puff up your chest, and start to look up at the ceiling. And keep pressing hands into your thighs, keep pressing the big toes into the mat. Feel the shoulder blades lifting your heart up to the ceiling. You might be looking up at the ceiling. Your gaze might even start to move to the wall behind you. Great. And come up to sit nice and tall again. Keep your right hand on your right thigh. Left arm goes up. And you're going to take the left hand. Again, you have some options. So I have an arm to my chair. You can take your left hand to the arm of the chair. Maybe take your hand to the seat back, or take your hand to the cushion behind you and start to rotate. So we're starting in what I call an open twist. Keep the big toes pressing into the floor. Try to keep your knees, your thighs parallel to each other. And if this is enough, stay here. Keep that weight grounded into both sitting bones. So you're rotating not from your hips, but from above the belly button. And maybe the right hand now moves to your left knee or thigh. Maybe the back of the hand, the arm goes to the outside of the left thigh, and you can use that for some more leverage as you move into more rotation. You'll look over your left shoulder and see something. We're going to keep the trunk in rotation and just look over your right shoulder. And then look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. One more time, look over your right shoulder. And again, look over your left shoulder. Great, come back to center. Float the arms high. And again, bring your hands to your knees, to your thighs, press down and see if the shoulder blades can lift your heart up to the ceiling. Maybe you're looking up. Try not to let the shoulders creep up by your ears. Feel that shoulder blades here are also, as they squeeze towards each other, they're also hugging towards your hips. You might again see the wall behind you in time. From here, come back to neutral with your spine. You're going to let your chin settle towards your chest. I'm going to turn my chair to the side for a moment. And then we're going to melt forward again, chin into your chest. So we've done this already, but what I'm going to offer you now is when you fold forward, maybe press your big toes into the mat and lift your sits bones away from your chair. So now you're going to let the legs get as long as possible. Maybe you take hold of your elbows and gently tug on your elbows, trying to get your forearms to touch the floor. Now, doesn't happen in my body, maybe it'll happen in yours. If you're happy here, stay here. Otherwise, I'm going to say, bring your sits bones back down to your chair. And then lift your hips away from the chair again. And maybe you can shift the weight a little bit more into the balls of your feet. Knees can be straight if your range of motion allows. And I'm going to suggest now that you change the crossing of your arms, tug on those elbows, and let's do that again. Maybe you bring your sitting bones back to your chair. And if you need to use your hands in some way, okay. Otherwise, hips float high. And just start to sway your torso gently from side to side, relaxing your neck, relaxing your shoulders, allowing your torso to dangle from the very tip of your tailbone. Knees can be bent a little bit or a whole lot. Change the crossing of your arms and continue to gently sway from side to side. You eventually come back to center, and you'll bring your sitting bones back to the seat. And you'll start to roll your way up to sit, stacking one vertebra on top of the next. When you make your way up to sit nice and tall, shoulders over your hips, just lift the shoulders up by the ears. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, shoulder blades down the back, tips of the shoulders move forward, shoulders up by the ears, and then release them down the back. Now, for some of you, your weight is forward. For some of you right now, you might want to shift the weight back. Totally up to you. All I'm going to ask you to do is straighten your right leg in front of you and just start to circle the right ankle out. Let's do about 8, maybe even 10 circles to the right in one direction, with the right leg in one direction. If you need a little bit of support, you can interlace the fingers behind your right thigh and then circle in the other direction, right? So just interlace the fingers behind the thigh so you have some support. And just circle the ankles, make the movement as big as you can. And it's not an exact science. At some point, you'll flex that right foot, push through the heel, try to get your toenails closer to your shin. You might feel your quads engaging, and then push through the ball of the foot, extend through the tips of the toes. You might feel your calf muscle engaging. Curl the toes back, flex the foot. Point the toes, flex the foot. Point the toes, flex the foot, and step your right foot down. Same thing, second side. So you're going to extend your left leg in front of you. So you might already feel your quads engaging. We're just going to start to circle the left ankle out, about 10 times, could be 8, could be 12, depending on how fast or slow. So I'll encourage you to take your time. They're really trying to get more articulation, not only through your toes, but to get the ankles to open up a little bit more. Again, sending energy through those nadis, those energy channels, all the way to the tips of your toes. And at some point, you'll circle in the other direction. Again, if you're feeling a little fatigued here, or maybe it's just too much, interlace the fingers behind your thigh and let the thigh be supported by your hands, and then just continue to focus on circling out the ankle. I don't know if you can hear this, but this ankle clicks. And I've been doing this for years and it still clicks. So that's just the way my body receives this action. It's all good. So you'll eventually flex that foot, curl the toenails back towards your shin, push through the ball of the foot, and then extend through the tips of the toes. Curl your toes back, flex that foot, push that left heel further forward. You might feel the quads engaging, and then push, push, push through the ball of the foot, and then extend through the tips of the toes. You might feel your calf muscle engaging. One more time, flex that foot, and point the toes. Flex your foot, and go ahead, step the left foot flat on the mat or on the floor. Turn my seat forward again. And again, maybe now if you're sitting for it, you're deciding, yep, I'm going to sit back because we're going to start to wind down and I'll give you some things to think about. Maybe you have your palms facing up with the backs of the hands resting on your knees or your thighs. This is a sign that you are ready to receive. Receive the lessons and the blessings that are there for you. So there's a quote that came to me. It's actually, some would say funny. It says, it's hard to soar with eagles when you work with turkeys. And this is not directed at any of your colleagues. It's more about you, the way I'm offering this. It's about you and the energy that you are allowing in your space, in your inner orb. I will encourage you, especially as we're now moving into a new year. For some people, they set resolutions, and it's a time to change things. It's a time for shedding. And if you're finding that in your inner circle, there's some energy that's not encouraging you to be the best, the shiniest reflection of self from day to day, you might need to shift them to the next realm, if you will. Try to surround yourselves with people that support you, that encourage you, that applaud you, that see you, that celebrate you, that love you unconditionally. And it's that energy that allows you to soar to greater heights. We're all amazing. Allow yourselves to be supported by those that see that. Those that acknowledge your greatness Great. Let's bring the palms to press together again, thumbs pressed into the heart space. You can stay seated, leaning back, or maybe shift your weight forward, totally up to you. I encourage you to take your yoga with you. Allow it to arm you as you navigate your way through your moment to moment existence. Try to remain less reactive. Stay in your place of peace, always letting your light shine. If you're so inclined, let's take in a deep breath together. We'll seal our time together with a round of Om. Inhale. Om. Belly forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up for yourselves. Thank you so much for breathing and hopefully shedding a little bit so that your light might already be shining a little bit brighter. If you have questions, you can always reach out through Trish, or you can reach out to me directly, dthesmilingyogi@gmail.com, or dthesmilingyogi on IG. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And if I don't see you, well, next week I'm not on the schedule. I'm on the schedule on the 15th. If I don't see you then, have a smooth, blessed, and festive transition into the new year. Again, namaste.